What's up, everybody? I really appreciate for anybody who's like dropped in so far. Thank you. Thank you for dropping in. Just wanted to talk about something, and I get approached quite a bit about this particular topic, so just figured that I would talk about it. So I'm gonna be doing some playing, but I'm actually gonna be, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do, so just stick around. But anyhow, I get approached quite a bit. So let me make sure I got sound though. So I get approached quite a bit with this particular sentiment, and I really want to well, the reason why I do what I do is, wrong music. Okay, I'll go with that. Anyway, I get approached with this particular sentiment, and I'm not saying that it's why I do what I do, but it makes sense that as I'm doing what I do, as far as in reference to teaching, okay, teaching guitar, all that stuff, it makes sense for someone like me to be in a position, the position that I'm in, to actually teach, okay? Because it's actually solving the problem. And I'm just letting y'all know, I'm selling something, but I'm not gonna be talking about it, but I'm selling something, okay? And it is a course. But anyway, and it's to solve the problem. But I want to just talk about this first. I'm often approached with this thing, and it is, I'm going to give it a title. Man, I should have. And I get a whole bunch of people who approach me with, man, I should have. I'm like, you should have what? I mean, and why are you coming to me with this? Well, I mean, because you play guitar and everything. And I'm like, well, yeah, I play, and you teach. Yes, you're correct. I do. I teach. And I'm like, okay, so I mean, what's up? Man, when I was a kid, I always asked my parents, for a guitar or for this instrument and that instrument, and they never like got me an instrument. And then as I became an adult, I always told myself that I would buy an instrument, and I would learn. I'm like, okay, so why haven't you? And the stories that I get now, I'm gonna cut my little background music off for a minute, because I'm actually like a really generous, polite guy, sometimes to a fault. Okay. So much so that if someone bothers me or picks on me, I'll be ready to like really go there. But for the most part, I'm just like a generous guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what you see is what you get. I'm really this way. But the thing is, people start running off these, what I call excuses, and some people have valid reasons. And I'm like, okay, cool. But because of the nature of what I do, and it's not just music, but because of the nature of what I do, I think a certain way, okay? And I nitpick and I analyze what people say, like when they're speaking. And I'm just listening to them. And I do this with myself as I'm speaking. I, analyze what I'm saying. So I don't think that people realize how much, like how stupid they sound, how stupid I sound, me, and my own logic, the excuses that I come up with for not doing something that I've always wanted to do. Why would I neglect to do something that I've always wanted to do? And why would that be your language? Okay. If you don't want me to pick it apart, don't let that be your language. Okay. Just say that maybe, this is sort of on my bucket list. But if you tell me that this is something that you've always wanted to do, then I'm like, okay, well, why haven't you done it? So I kind of got that extreme of mild-mannered kind of in my own space. But at the same time, I'm gonna take a second thought or second look at what you said, because it doesn't make sense. And many of us, we pride ourselves in being an adult and being able to do what we want to do. But then we realize that everything catches back up to us, and we're not so grown then. It's like we're like a little kid again. So anyway, example, man, I'm 65 years old, and I had a guitar when I was 20, but it was at my mom's house. My mom's house burned down, and ever since then, man, I just always wanted that guitar. And I'm like, okay, cool. All right. So in that amount of years, 10, 20, 30, 40 something years, what have you done did you get a guitar? Did you get another guitar? Nah, man, they start rubbing the back of their head. Nah, man, the body language, all that stuff happens, right? And I'm like, okay, what have you done? And I mean, anything that you want to do, it ain't got to be playing guitar, but what have you done in that 45 years to set yourself up to learn guitar, to whatever, to have whatever it is that you say that you want to have? Well, really, it's just always in the back of my mind. I'm like, but why? Like, why are you doing that to yourself? Why are you doing that to yourself? Why do we do this to ourselves? Why? And the thing is, it's money in and money out. Most of us have jobs. Most of us are, in a position to where we can make decisions in a way, and we're adults. Adults can make decisions for ourselves. And a lot of times we have to consider other people, like family. We have to consider things like that. So what? Who cares? Who cares about the fact that you got a family? In that sense, I'm sort of a straight shooter. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of try to pretty stuff up. But stuff like that, why haven't you done it? So, and then that's like the preface of it. But now it's like, well, guitars cost like, okay, we started talking about how much guitars cost. Okay, cool. We got that part of it. But then we may talk about, well, I just bought a TV, I got 5 TVs in my house, and I'm like, okay. So then I start to think, you got 5 TVs in your house. How many of them do you watch? Well, I really only watch like 2 of them. So why you got 5 TVs? This is how I think. That makes negative 50 cents to me, to somebody like me. I'm someone who's like this. I have a family of 4. Now, we have a whole plate set. It got like 50 plates, ceramic plates, real nice. And there was a time that we actually had all 50 plates in the cabinet, just ready to use. And we would use the plates. But I noticed that my family, I'm saying like me, I'm the kind of person, I'll take 1 plate and I'll just use the 1 plate. But my family, if there's a clean plate in that cabinet, they're just going to grab the clean plate and just use it to eat. But then when we look in the sink, the sink really does take account of what's being used. So I'm like, so who's going to clean all these dishes? And they looking at me like, what you looking at me for? I use 1 plate out of this whole thing. Y'all use 5 plates apiece. And it's just power dishes, right? This was some time ago, by the way. And so I was like, okay, I'm putting all these plates away. And I'm only going to take out 4 because these are the 4 that we're going to use. Right? And if we have company over, if we have if we have a party or a get together or something like that, we'll just take out the rest of the plates. And that has made sense. Our sink does not pile up. Okay. We have it's an easier load to handle. Okay. It makes sense. We only got 4 plates. It's no point. It's like, okay, just wash the plate. If you need to use it again, just wash it real quick. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the thing. And I'm actually going to take a break on this music because I want to answer a question. Oh, yeah, you ain't got to apologize. So here's a question, right? And I'll continue the explanation after that. This is strong boy. It says, what do you think of people that say you need to start learning an instrument from ages 5 to 7 to really be able to master it? That's BS. I don't even cuss like that. You know what I'm saying? I should say the real thing. So here's something that y'all don't, well, some of you may not know. Yes, I did start playing an instrument at 5. And that's like doodling. This was piano, okay? It wasn't guitar. But I didn't buy a guitar until I was like 21. That was my first time even touching a guitar. Okay? So I was 21. And many people would say that I have a level of mastery, on guitar. So to answer your question, I mean, I'm a living testament of not starting guitar particularly I did play instruments, like a couple of instruments, like growing up, but it wasn't like consistent. But I had, that was to my advantage because I had sort of developed my ear a little bit. But to be quite honest with you, developing my ear came partly from learning an instrument, but it also came from just listening to music in general and just kind of picking apart different things, while listening to music. So that also trained my ear as well, in addition to like learning music. So there's learning music and there's also learning the instrument. And those are actually two different things. So to answer your question, I'm a living testament of not playing guitar, particularly when I was like 5 or 7. But piano was my first instrument. And I did kind of use information that I had to help teach myself guitar. But I hadn't touched piano in so long. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't like consistently playing. I was actually focusing on, I'm also a artist, like a fine artist where, I paint, draw, stuff like that. So I did that also growing up and went to a performing arts school or whatever. Then went to college, so on and so forth. But yeah, strong boy, 4810. Hello back. So not sure if that kind of answers your question. But so yeah, back to that story. And I appreciate that question too. And thank you for staying on topic. Because sometimes I get some other stuff. But anyhow, back to the story. So I'm continuing to talk to the gentleman, and I'm just asking this question, like, okay, so how much was each TV, roughly? So he gives me sort of like the prices. None of the TVs cost less than $500 a piece. He probably had one TV that was like $2K. And it's like, okay, cool. It's like, here's the thing. We create bills. We create expenses. And then when it comes to the thing that we say that we really want to do, we're basically neglectful, negligent towards some of the things that we really want to do. But when it comes to the frivolous things that we can consume without putting any work in, we will rather put money into that. So a TV is something that you can turn on and sit back, put your feet up, and be entertained. Learning an instrument requires a little bit of effort and retention and repetition. Did I already say repetition? Practicing, but at the same time, on the back end, we feel a sense of fulfillment, like a great sense of fulfillment. And we forget that. We forget that, like, how fulfilled it is to learn something. And then it's like the payment is the fulfillment. And because the work has to be a little front loaded, we don't want to go through that part. And then we see videos on YouTube that says, learn this in 5 minutes, learn this in 2 minutes. And it's like, I'm not coming at you that way. I'm saying to you, listen, it's going to take a little bit of work. I'm not saying it's going to take the rest of your life, but you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to put the guitar in your hand. You're going to have to get used to feeling it. You know what I'm saying? I tell people, behave as though this is like a limb that you're learning how to use, a new arm or whatever. If you really want to know how to do this thing. Now, if you don't, you don't. But I really dislike when someone says that they want to do something and they do nothing to pursue it. I actually have a level of disrespect for that, including for myself. I really evaluate myself, and I ask myself, like, okay, Kashif, if you say that you really want this thing, why have you not taken steps to bring it into fruition? I'm gonna put some more music on. Like, for what? So then when I start taking inventory, then I start saying to myself, well, really on a day-to-day basis, I put my focus toward this thing and that thing. And I'm like, oh, that's why I haven't done it. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to it, every single choice that we've made, and I did a video on differentiating decision from choice, which I believe are two different things. Choices, I think, has to do with little frivolous things that we kind of do almost automatically. Sometimes we're not even aware. Decisions, I think, and this is actually Myron Golden talks about this. Decisions have to do with like basically leaving another thing behind. It's like two things in front of you. It's like, hey, it's either this or this. It's like red pill, blue pill, green pill, whatever. You got two, and these are like weightier consequences as a result of deciding. And it's like, okay, but on a day-to-day level, there are little things that I just frivolously add, and I'm not even thinking about it. And it's to kind of pacify my own quiet time. And I don't have to do that. If I go and sort of take inventory on all the subscriptions that I have. And the thing is, I'm not against subscriptions. I have a community that requires you to subscribe financially, which is actually more economical than having like private lessons. So, and that's one way that I get paid. At the same time, in choosing, we got all these little subscriptions, and when they start adding up, when we're paying $500 a month in subscriptions, and we didn't even account for those subscriptions. I ain't tell you to do that. No one else told you to do that. You decided. And what comes on the back end of that is like, man, you're rubbing the back of your head again. I ain't got it, man. Them lessons add up. You added that stuff. We leave a trail, based on the choices that we make. We leave a trail. It's like this trail of trash. Just a napkin here, a paper towel here, a empty can here, an empty jar here. And then we say, well, I ain't got it. Look at, $10,000 is going into a year subscriptions. And a quarter of that, an eighth of that can go into lessons. And you say you ain't got the money. And I'm reminding y'all I'm selling something. Because I am. So anyway, this is where I come in. Let me read this. This is Curved Perception. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. It's definitely a Saturday. I mean, maybe it's just a good day. Yeah, curved perception. I agree, because I have made excuses on becoming proficient my whole adult life, especially when learning gets hard. And I think we all do it. You know what I'm saying? We all do it. The thing is, learning guitar is easier than you think. It's all in our perspective a lot of times, and we forget that we put certain effort toward things already. There are already things that we do today that we could have definitely given up. We work jobs that we were trained on. We work jobs that we got a degree to work. But what motivated us was the incentive on the other side, whether it was the money or whatever. And that was the thing. It was incentivized. So it motivated you. And since you had that motivation, that's what sort of propelled you or sort of fueled you to make the decision to study this or get trained to do that. But make a differentiation, or maybe that's not the right word. Sort of decide what is your incentive for learning an instrument or learning guitar. For you, it might be fulfillment. It just might be interpersonal fulfillment. Like, I feel happy that I have something outside of work that I can work on, you know, that I can work at. I can take a break from my day-to-day duties, and you know, it's like a mental break, and it helps to reinforce your patterns of thinking. It's actually like one of those effects that like reading has. You know how people talk about how wealthy people read X amount of pages per day, like without fail. If you're talking to a wealthy person who has millions of dollars, there are certain habits that they have, and it's just about without fail. You know that in order to keep their brains malleable, absorbent, the mental dexterity that's required, they got to read something, you know, because the way the information is processed, it's necessary. Curve perception added. I think that I spend more time looking for learning resources and oversaturate a learning direction. Tutorials, how-tos, the tabs, learning music, theory. After all of that, I start to think that I'll never learn. And that's an honest assessment. And that just means that you gotta kind of lock in on something, on somebody. If it's me, go for it and don't look back. If it's another teacher, like, go for it. You know, that's, you know, you got to decide on that. Of course I want your money. You know what I'm saying? But I more so am motivated to help people to find, like, how do you want to learn? You know, I can help you minimize that regret. Ultimately, I realize that I'm in the business of helping to minimize regrets, you know, for people who wish they would have learned earlier. Now, I do have younger students. There's sort of a gap. Like I got younger kids that are like middle school and high school and like early college. Then there's like a gap. I guess that gap, they're like working. Then they turn about 45 and they're just like, I wish I would have did. And mind you, I'm 45. So it's one of those things. It's like there's a gap. So you got the teenagers, early young adults. Then you have people who are like mid to late, you know, 40s on up, especially 50s and 60s. Man, you know, I feel like the numbers go even higher because they're just like, man, I really put it off. I really put it off. For what? You know, we do it to ourselves. Okay. So I just wanted to make that, I wanted to like make that known. I just wanted to put that out in the air. Because we don't have to do that. And I know I'm rambling, but I'm kind of doing like a come to self moment on this issue. We spend the money. Money is that's not a factor. For 95% of people who watch my videos, money is not a factor. I can boldly and confidently say that. You got the money to spend. Strong boy. You said, so you regret not learning earlier? I started in my late teens. What should I feel? No. I don't regret. I'm not saying I regret. I'm saying what people say to me. Okay. I don't have any regrets. Any regrets. In fact, when I didn't learn guitar. Like I said, I bought my first guitar at 21, and I'm happy I did it. You know, because I actually kind of, like I said, there's a little part that I have to add in there. I learned piano at 5, and that was like a self-taught. I sat at a piano, I listened to a lot of music, and I dared to find a note that matched with the music that I was listening to. Let me just hit this key and see if I can match it. It was a matching game of notes. And that's what I see it as today, you know, like matching notes, and that's it. But what I will say, Yeah, I joined the stream midway through. Yeah. No problem, no problem. Yeah. I was mainly talking about, and this is the strong boy. I was mainly talking about people who come to me and say that, and I am someone who is helping others to minimize that regret. Even if you started in your teens and you put it down for a time, and it's like, man, I need to get back to that, because sometimes we forget how fulfilling something was. The thing is, when we're kids, we're more imaginative. We're more creative. We're more like innocent, and we start living life. That's the truth. Period. The thing is, you're still responsible you're responsible for maintaining your innocence to a point. You got to leave a space for that, to be creative. And I believe that everyone who says, I'm not creative, you're telling yourself a lie from the pits of hell. And I strongly believe that. From the pits. Everyone is creative. You put it over here somewhere, and you've forgotten. So you've forgotten that you're creative. Okay? That's the truth, because everyone was born that way. And it requires creativity to make a decision. It requires creativity to be resilient. You know what I'm saying? You got to come up with solution. That's creativity. Creativity is not just pertaining to somebody who plays music and does art and dance. That's not what that is. Now, they're active in expressing it. But you have to be creative if you lose a job. What am I going to do? Who am I going to call? You got to come up with something, Think of somebody to call. You got to look for stuff like that's to a level, it looks more administrative, but it requires creativity. So I said all that to say, we spend money on stuff that we want to spend on. Okay. I'm sure whoever sees this live, I'm going to leave it up. Whoever sees this live, like, a month from now or whenever you see it. If you got $500 worth of subscriptions per month, you could literally eliminate $200 worth a month and have the money to spend on whatever it is that you want to spend it on. Okay. A lot of times these are frivolous things, because we work jobs, we work, day-to-day jobs, and we need a mental break. We need to be entertained because we're spending our day generating results for a company. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the follow. Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I be trying to do the YouTube IG etiquette. Yeah, make sure you follow, subscribe to. I don't like doing it. So anytime someone does that, I appreciate that. So thank you so much. So just know that as I'm teaching with this perspective. I'm actually teaching with this conviction that there are people out there who have regrets and they want somebody to just sit down and just show them how to play this or play that. Retired vets, Army veterans, you know what I'm saying? I get a lot of those who come in my DM. Now, I know Army vets, y'all been through a lot. Some of y'all got PTSD. So I don't want to cross you the wrong way. But don't fool yourself. Stop fooling yourself. Just spend the money. Spend the money. Spend the $45 a month. It costs $50 to $70 to have a private in-person lesson with me. That's how much it costs. I have a student. He's an artist in Atlanta, young artist, but he's also in college. They spend the money. The money's going to somewhere. It's literally going somewhere. If it's not going to me, it's going to Starbucks. If it's not going to me, it's going to Netflix. If it ain't going to me, it's going to Walmart or Kroger or Publix, Winn-Dixie, wherever y'all shop for groceries. Now, we need food. I ain't telling you to like diminish your grocery bill. But I'm saying the frivolous things, and when people say they don't have money for a guitar, and you spent $500 on a TV that you don't watch, you only watch it when you have company, and that's twice a year. They can watch one of the other TVs. Like, you got 3 TVs left. They can watch one of those. So I'm belaboring the issue because I want to. And I feel like I need to. Because I get tired of that excuse. Don't come to me saying that you don't have the money. Just tell me, hey, I don't want to do it right now. I'm that kind of person. You know, don't tell me it ain't the time. Just say you don't want to do it right now. I'd rather you do that. Just watch a YouTube video. You know, otherwise, subscribe to my private community. It's $30 a month. A private lesson is $50 to $70 a lesson in person. And plus, with the monthly subscription, we can arrange to do group calls with current, people who are in there. We can collab. We can, do some ways, I can answer specific questions. There are some of them that I've had opportunities to actually go and meet with them privately because I felt like it was necessary. I haven't been able to do that with everybody. But I'm just saying, I'm someone who feels that I'm actually doing work to eliminate that regret for you. And you're kind of passing it up and you're kind of acting like I'm not here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not the instructor that's going to tell you that you're going to learn it in 5 minutes. That's just not me. I'm the person that's going to tell you. Just like you had to physically crawl before walking, it's going to be the same thing with guitar. There are some things that you're going to learn faster. Some stuff you're going to learn slower. Things that are worth building tend to last. Things that you learn quicker, you kind of get an easy thrill and you kind of almost throw it away in your mind. So I'm telling you the truth about this, okay? And I just don't want to have that approach with you. Anyway, that's my private community. That's actually, $29.97 per month for the intermediate level. It's $19.97 for the beginner level. But I have a link. It's actually in the chat, I believe. I think I put it there. And I'll put it in the description too. But I have a link that I'll put it in the description. If not now, I'll do it. I'll do it after the fact. But it's gonna be the same link. It ain't nothing special. Well, it is special. But in addition to that, I have a separate course. Now, if you subscribe into my community, the course comes along with being in the community. So people who are in it, they're getting this course. I have several courses within that one community. All right. So you're getting some stuff. All right. I'm not cheating you one bit. You know what I'm saying? It's really up to you to take advantage of the opportunity. So that's that. But at the same time, I am also selling the course just separately, you just might want the course. And the course is specifically to work on strumming. Now, why am I selling that course? Because a lot of people trip over their shoestrings. They trip over blowing leaves as it relates to strumming. Okay. And it's really important to get that under your belt to be good at. If you're learning how to play guitar, you should have strumming down. This would help beginners and intermediate players. Okay, beginners and intermediate players. I mean, as when I was recording the lesson. I was recording the lesson. I was like, ooh, man, I got to work out recording this lesson. It is about 22 lessons within it. And it's like you already know what's happening, but it's literally a trainer. It's like a follow through trainer. You know, one of the fun ways that we learn strumming is playing along with the song. You know what I'm saying? So we learn that way. But also, you just need a track that I play, and then it's your turn to play. So basically, the track, just to like describe it, there's a count off, there's a drum track. I play the strumming, and then there's a space for you to play it. Okay, and then I come back on, and then so it's like, and it's at 80 BPM, and it's something that will train you in the same sense that like you're in a gym, and you're just intentionally warming up. The thing is, the way I play, when I'm warming up, I do this stuff to this day. And some people, they look at me and they say, well, how do you know how to play that? In that trainer, I do stuff like that. Okay? So please keep that in mind. Like, I didn't like stumble upon being able to just play certain chords. I did stuff repetitively. Kashif, how do you know how to do push-ups? I get down and do push-ups. How do you know how to jog this distance? I go and do it. I do it for a quarter of a mile. Then I do it for half a mile. Then I do it for 3/4 of a mile. I feel happy that I put effort towards something, and then I get a little better, or I get more proficient at doing it better or longer, whatever. I like that. I like that feeling. I'm lying to myself by saying I don't have time, and I'm lying to myself by saying I don't have the money. The course is, like I said, in those links. If you get it, I think that you will be blessed. Now, it's a simple course, but you got to follow it. And it's definitely, it's one of those things where when you follow it afterwards, you're like, okay, I don't know what the big deal was, but when you go back and play a song, you're like, wow, I couldn't do that before. You know what I'm saying? Strong, boy. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. And to even what Strong Boy did, he found something to be valuable that moved him to do that. So thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm just here to remind y'all that, hey, you got to put the effort in. Okay. Now, what was I about to do? I want to just sort of, I'm not going to show the course right now, but as it relates to strumming, and I'm actually, I don't know when I'm in the live, but I'm probably going to do the live again, this same one later today. And I'm going to talk about probably the same stuff. So for anybody who missed it, you know, they'll be able to sort of like recap or ask me questions. And I'm just going to say this brief thing about strumming. And then any other questions that you all may have, like, feel free to chime in. And if y'all want me to stay on, I might do like a quick little break with the intro that I had, and then I can just be back, you know, after the 5-minute break. But yeah, as far as strumming, I think that it's important to, this is like a brief little piece that I mentioned, that people just neglect. And this is a very simple thing, but typically we learn a few chords, and we typically learn something like C major. Okay. And a teacher may say, okay, do some down strums, you know, put a metronome on or a click on, and And we do that for the duration of however long the beat is or whatever. It's real easy that some of us could get a little bored, and it's like, okay, what do I do with that? All right. But now when you're doing these, when you're strumming down, remember that every time you're strumming down, you have to, in order to strum down again, you're coming up. You're already, like, your hand is already coming up as you need to strum down again. Well, at some point, you got to incorporate the up strum. So it's cool to start with the down first. But some people immediately go in just, and they don't know where to start as far as that. And it doesn't sound good to them. I'm like, well, you just started. Get the downs straight first. And let's do the downs to a beat. And let's get it accurate. Let's you know, do I got a metronome on here? I think I do. Hopefully. Okay. If I want to match this beat, now that beat is a guide, that metronome is a guide for me to keep to the beat. But if you're just doing this and you don't have like this framework to kind of keep to, it's going to kind of jack you up when a song comes on and you're trying to play to the song. Now, some people have a good internal rhythm, and that's cool too. But at least tap your foot, while you're playing or something, but it's something to be developed. It's almost like learning a language. Okay. And then you learn slowly and start to pick up the pace and start to pick up the BPM, the rhythm, the cadence. You then pick it up after a while. Okay. So, and then the other elements are changing chords. So going from C to G, or going from C to A minor, or going from C to A major, to, whatever chord you want to go to. Now, when it comes to R&B stuff, all that stuff in scales, that's down the line. Now, I can teach you a scale and I can do all that, but stuff like that is not going to come right off. But it's going to start with learn this scale. But all the feeling and the riffs and stuff like that, I'm not saying it's going to take you years, but you're not going to get it in a day. Okay? Unless you ain't got nothing to do with your time and you get it. You know what I'm saying? Then, hey, congratulations. But so that's kind of like where I'm coming from. Like I'm creative, but I'm structured as well. And it's really combining those things. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to take a break. I'm going to stay on here. Okay. And when I come back, those of you who decide to leave, I'll see you later. I appreciate you staying. But those of you who are here after the break, if you have any like questions, like maybe we can have more of like a dialogue of what your concerns are. Now, some of y'all may not see this, but in my bio, in this YouTube bio on YouTube, I've had for I don't know how long, like free Zoom calls or free 15-minute Zoom call or free, phone call. Just tell me what your concerns are. And I'm saying it's free. Like it's nothing. I'm not even selling anything with that. You literally have questions, because sometimes this internet, there are barriers. Now, I think I took that link down because I think y'all, I put way more free stuff out there for y'all to, I don't think everybody sees it. Excuse me. I don't do a lot of free downloads because sometimes the free downloads is the aim to get the, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even do that. I just be saying, hey, let's do this free. And a lot of times maybe y'all think it's too good to be true, but I'm literally extending myself. So needless to say, soon I'm going to start doing the free downloads because I just feel like that's what will get your attention. So, but yeah, we're going to go on a break. This will be the same exact intro that I was playing, which is really like promoting my course. It's called the Strum Trainer. And this is literally to just kind of lock in rhythm. It's something to help build your internal rhythm. Okay. It's very foundational. These are things like every time I sit down to warm up, I do some of these same things. Like I go through a major scale, you know, I put a metronome on slowly and then I start to speed it up. I do it to this day for like 5 minutes. Like I have a warm up regimen just to get my fingers, you know, moving a little bit. Okay. And I'll put a course out about that as well. But ultimately, I'm going to go to this break. You got the money. You just don't want to do it. But if you want to do it, buy my course. Buy it. And just let it be something that you go through, like commit to it. And the course is, I promise you, if you have a guitar, cool, get the course. If you don't have a guitar, you still got the money. You got the money. The guitars that I have, I don't like, I play Stratocasters for the most part, and none of them are Fenders. They're like parts casters. And I spent $180, $150, $55. And then I put the parts together and then made other guitars. So I did that. Like I don't have any $2,000 guitar. I don't have those. This was a trade-in for a guitar amp that I had. So this is like one of the only, I got a Squier up here. I got a bass, but I'm just saying you don't have to spend a lot of money. So you got the money. That's not the issue. So, so yes, do this for yourself. It works for beginners. And I'm also going to be adding more to the course. I'm going to be taking some feedback so that some other things can be added. And if you need to get onto like the like as a subscription to my private community, please go ahead and do yourself a favor and do that. It's not just online courses. You also have access to actually dialogue with me so that so that stuff is not ruminating in your mind that are like lies. Whenever someone who's skilled can answer your question, it dismantles the things that are going on in your mind that were lies the whole time, or it may reinforce what you already knew. So why even do that to yourself? Okay. But yeah, you would have access to courses as well as, hey, Kashif, I have a question about this. And then I'm like, okay, you got time for a Zoom call? Let's talk. Yeah, man, I got a question about da-da-da-da. Oh, I know what that issue is. You might want to do this, or this. Okay. As far as the course, y'all, the link is in the description. It's under the video. If you click on the link, it'll be there. I saw that somebody asked where it is. If you go up in the text thread, it's the first thing. As a matter of fact, I'll do this. As far as the link, I will pin. Can I pin it? I can. Boom. So maybe you all have seen that I have the link pinned in the chat, in the live chat. I got it pinned. It's $20. It's like $19.99. Okay. Which is, it's relative to however you look at it. However you decide to look at $20, I don't know. Some people say, hey, that's too much. If you go to Starbucks twice a month, you spend the money, and you don't need the coffee. That's just how I look at stuff. But yeah, man, like I'm just here to help, and I'm here to honestly help, and I really do mean what I say as far as minimizing regrets, but also giving people a creative outlet and creative perspectives, and just keeping the creativity well oiled. They do say Nodger. No, they do say mod your guitars before buying new ones. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I did. I bought my main guitar, which is this one right here. I modded it, and the guitar itself, I spent $55 for it at a pawn shop. But I saw that it was like kind of weighty. I was like, whoa, this has some nice weight to it. When I took it to the counter, the guy was like, "You got 55?" Yeah, I got 55. But I knew what I had. I knew what I ran into. It was worth weight. It was worth more than that. But yeah, so that's what happened on my end. And then so that is a like a 1993 Squire Stratocaster, a 93 one. So the weight of the wood is what it is. It's not the same as today. I had an issue with some of the fittings for like the pick guards and stuff like that, but I bought a new pick guard. I bought a new neck. I was seeing if I had some. I bought a new neck. Okay. I bought new tuners and upgraded it, and I did it over time. You see what I'm saying? Like, we put this stuff in our head, like, and all the stuff that I spent was probably a little less than $500, because I spent $55 for the guitar. The pick guard, to be honest with you, was like probably $300, because it's a Seymour Duncan pick guard. Already loaded. The pick guard was already loaded. It was already wired. All I had to do was solder the output jack. You know what I'm saying? I just had to solder that. I know how to do that, so I just did it real quick and just took the strings off, and I put the tuners on. You know, kind of had to maneuver that a little bit, but once they were on, I mean, it's weighty. It got good sustain. I spent $55 for that guitar. I saved up the $300 or whatever over a few months. I just kind of put the money aside. Eventually, if you put $50 aside long enough, you're going to eventually get $300. I could play what I had in the meantime. Let's stop being stupid, y'all. I call it stupidity. You know what I'm saying? I got a question. This is from DJ. I don't know how to say that. DJ. I'm not going to try to say it. When did I start and how long did it take for me to get good? I feel like it took about, for me, it took about 4 years to get good. I started when I was 21 and I'm 45 now. Okay. But about 2 years after I started, I was playing in the church. You know what I'm saying? Did I know what I was doing? Nope. No, I didn't know what I was doing. Who cares about that? You know, it was like, of course I wanted to know, and of course I was like nervous. But was I going to do it or not do it? I don't know what I'm doing, but they're asking me to play guitar. Okay. Now, I could have not done that. But there's a cost that comes with not doing stuff too. Okay? So I made that decision, and it helped me to become less shy. You know, I embrace being, I was never shy, first of all. I was never shy. But I embraced being very reserved for a long time. But after a while, I started getting this internal thought that's like, that's not getting me anywhere. And I'm still reserved off stage, and you know, when I'm to myself, I still am. But I make a loud noise too. You know, I got a lot under my hood. Okay. You say, see, that's me. I only play lines in church. Now everybody loves it, but I'm like, I'm not even playing chords, y'all. That's all right. you can play. You can get into it. You can benefit from playing chords differently, and everybody plays guitar differently. So you play lines, but when you play those lines, do you have chords in mind? You can play lines having chords in mind, and it sounds you're playing one note at a time, but you're playing chords. You know what I'm saying? You're applying melody to the harmonies. Basically. You know what I'm saying? There's a way to do that. So if you were to, I keep looking for a certain pick. If you were to, so someone could do something like this. You could do that, right? And that's cool. People love that. But what if you play something like, I'm playing with chords in mind when I play that stuff, so it sounds different than we're just running a scale. Okay, you can. So those are arpeggios that I'm basically playing a chord, but it's one note at a time. So it depends on how you do it. So y'all listen. Those of y'all been like rocking with me this whole hour, which I don't take for granted at all. Thank you. But I'm actually going to take a break. I'm going to take like a 5-minute break. And if you have any questions, I appreciate you. GA, I almost want to say DJ Skeed or something like that. or Mask M Ski. In any of you, and someone was asking how much is the course. I'm sorry, I apologize for missing that. It's $19.99. That's what that is. But yeah, if you have any questions, I'm gonna take a break and come back. But it's gonna be a shorter session after that, maybe like 20 minutes. So if you got like concerns, it don't have to be on the subject that I was speaking about earlier. So consider this like a Q&A, this portion of it to be like a Q&A. All right. So hopefully what I'm saying is helpful. I believe that it is, and maybe it might hit you later. But I'm going to just play this looped 5-minute thing. And yeah, man. And we'll be back. So where is that scene at though? There we go. Y'all ready? Yeah, so for those of you who you still here, thank you. Thank you for staying. I know it's Saturday and y'all want to relax, but yeah, I just figured I would just make myself available. Says I'd like to say I'm an intermediate player, but I struggle with chord changes, especially the neo soul jazz chords. Will your course help with that? Okay, the course does help with that. Like, it's not a neo soul it's not a neo soul jazz like course, and I have a bunch of videos on this channel that that utilize and teach that. But the course deals with strumming. Okay, now here's why I'm like emphasizing that, because it's like it's easy to say that we want to learn the neo soul stuff. And excuse me, y'all, I'm about to unplug this guitar. So, oops. I'm gonna plug up a different thing. So here we go. There we go. I'm turning on my other thing. All right, boom. So anyway, with I probably should have did that during the break, right? Hey, yeah, no, everything ain't gonna be perfect. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta establish foundation first. That is like so important. I was running around downstairs and my face got shiny. But and that glare really shows up on camera. But anyway, yeah, like just being able to just do simple. Let me see. Okay. Let me do this. Being able to just do this like a simple strum is foundational to being able to all the little I was just practicing Can We Talk by Tevin Campbell. Listen, that's not my favorite song, but musically because it was played on keys. I think it was Babyface who actually like produced it. But being able to, how you play it? For a minute, girl. With that, you could do it. But anyway, being able to just go down at a rhythm, strumming down, that has to be established first. Okay, so that's something that I just really want to emphasize. That we can't miss that. Before we get to the neo soul stuff, I know a lot of people who can play a lot of fancy shapes and they don't know what they're doing. And people think here's the one part that I don't think we point out, or that we think about. You can end up getting ridiculed if people think that you're better than you are, and they realize that, oh, you just playing shapes, and they don't invite you back. I'm helping to eliminate that. Okay, so just spend a couple of weeks, or the week, or the few days, whatever, because everybody puts in a different amount of work. The thing is, your fine motor skills has to adapt. Your body has to adjust. You got to give your body time to adjust. But guess what? Your body will adjust. When you go to the gym and, oh, y'all like that? I know. I made this too. All the music y'all hear, this me. It's a vibe, man. I made that in this room. Anyway, I don't know why I said that. But just for the record. I was gonna say that, yeah, it's know how to do the regular stuff first. Your body will adapt. If you don't know how to do pull-ups, let's just say, or if you can at least do one, you do one, right? And you can try to do two, but you can't quite get there. If you put in a good effort, step away from those pull-up bars for like 2 days after you try it the first time. I can almost guarantee you're going to get a second one up because you tried the second one after the first one the first time. People got to stop running away from development. Like, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Just get the second one up. Like, the next time you try, get the second one up. And then try to do a third one. Try to do a third one. You can't do a third one yet. Wait a couple of days after that. Maybe a few more days, because your body is, the soreness that y'all feel, your body has to rebuild, and it's building like defenses to actually be able to do it next time. It's repairing the muscle to actually, that's the soreness that you feel. Your body's repairing the muscle to be able to actually do it the next time. So it's your body's way of preparing itself to go at it again and do it better. But yet we run away from that development. Now this happens mentally, physically, emotionally. The same things happen. So keep that in mind. So yeah, you say that you struggle with chord changes, especially the neo soul jazz. I feel like the course will help with that 100%. Especially like the price that I have it at is really an introductory price, to be honest with you. But after I get some feedback, guess what I may add? Neo soul and jazz chords. And I might make that a separate course, or I might make it a thing that comes with this course. So you would be helping yourself if you got it. If you do not get it, just watch my videos on YouTube. But I can't promise you it's going to be in the amount of time that you may improve. A lot of times when we do things like at our own pace, it'll literally be at our own pace. But when you take a course and you get all the way past it, like this particular thing, it's not a whole lot that you're doing, but it's kind of one of those things that we just neglect. Like body squats. And people don't think, well, you sit down in a chair and you're standing up after sitting down in the chair. Well, that is a very functional exercise. But what if you did about 20 of those a day? What if you did it? Standing up will be way easier. And guess what? You're going to trip less. You're going to fall down less. It's one of those things. So you can assess whether or not you feel like you need it. But guess what? I do body squats because I want to be functionally, I'm into that kind of thing. I do weighted squats too, but I do body squats. I'll do 100 squats standing, just my own body weight, just to get my equilibrium solid. You know what I'm saying? And I don't trip a lot. I don't fall a lot. So everybody do what they want to do. To answer your question, yes, I do think that it would help. I do think that. because we, getting past the let me turn this off. Getting past the campfire strumming, that is just, what I was doing before. Don't neglect that, because being able to do that will help to, smoothly come down. We got to start somewhere, okay? And sometimes even if you have kind of started learning it already, you may have to go back to the basics a little bit. It's possible that you may have to do that. And me being where I am, I go back to the basics all the time. Like I said, in me recording the course, I felt like I hadn't went back to that in a while. I had been teaching a lot, but I didn't go back to the foundational stuff. I'm like, dog, I should have been able to play. I should have been able to play this. Let me take about 5 minutes to get this solid before I actually record it. Y'all, and if you buy it, you might see where I kind of trip a little bit. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So just letting you know. But it's still taking you through. It's a systematic framework. You get the concept. I pretty much use the caged chords first to kind of get things going. So those chords you might already know. But that's another thing. Some of us actually neglect, even though you should not stay stuck on caged system chords, they inform a lot of stuff. Okay, I feel like some people get stuck there, but they don't know how to really effectively use those chords. But I feel like once you use them, once you learn them and get real good at them, it informs so much other stuff if you just lock that in. And if you lock the rhythm in, so it's very foundational, in other words. And yeah, and then you kind of take it from there. So yeah, I can go on and on about it. But if any of you have any questions about the course, feel free. So sorry about that for neglecting the next question. He said, this is Hello World 7088. It's fun to know that that I produced it. Yeah, all the music that you hear, I appreciate that. He said it's smooth. He or she. Yeah, all the stuff, that track, I have the track right here too. Let me see if it'll even play. Here it is. There it is. Let's take a little music break, I guess. So I played bass on it, programmed all the drums. Here's another part. Here's a part that y'all probably didn't know like that. Let me do this real quick, y'all. Yeah, here's a part that you all probably didn't know that I didn't say. So thank y'all for sticking here. One of the chords is insane. Hey, I'm here. So here is I've shared this before actually in other like much earlier videos, and I haven't shared it in a while. One of the ways that I learned guitar was through producing music. Actually, that's actually what really taught me guitar. The course is actually a reflection of how I learned guitar, and here's why. So for those of you, man, some of y'all are really sticking sticking through. I still got 9 of y'all. I love that. Thank you. And hopefully this helps. I use recording as a way to measure my progress. Okay. Some people neglect that. Now, first of all, we have, y'all might wonder what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the chat right here. That's what I'm looking at. So, but I also have it up here as well. Yeah. I was about to say, yeah, I use recording as to measure my progress and as a teaching tool, but I was teaching myself. And I've preached that. I preached that for a minute, and I didn't feel like anyone was like taking to it. And I got a part of my community. I have a course in it that is beginning to teach that. Okay. I haven't, like, as I'm populating the videos, it's just a part of the community. It's a growing catalog. So, you can choose which one. Here's the only caveat though. If I can call it that. This course is included in the private community, but it's available after you've been a part of the community for a certain amount of time. So you can't just get in it and think you're going to get in it for like less money and then cancel real quick and think that you're just going to get it. I got it set the way you don't have access to it. So you may as well just buy it. Oh boy. Anyhow, I think I'm clipping. Anyhow, so yes, I think that I got another question coming in. I think there's a slight delay. There we go. What about the collective aspect of learning music? You did mention that you played in church. Yes. This is another part of the community as well. And this statement is not to push my community. It's just to kind of include it into the way I'm explaining it. Unfortunately, like, I live in the Atlanta area, okay? Atlanta, Georgia. I moved here because I wanted to be around other musicians. It was either going to be here or like Nashville. You know what I'm saying? It was going to be somewhere where I could be close to some people who play music. Excuse me. So that was the reason why. That's what kind of brought me here. But when I got here, I definitely ran into musicians. But a lot of musicians were like stingy with the game. I'm like, yo, how you play that? And they might be playing like, I'm good, and they just killing it. Playing what they playing, or playing guitar. Like, go figure it out on your own. Go shed it. Go home and shed it, man. Go home and shed it. I'm like, you're not gonna tell me how to do it? I'm like, okay. And I'm one of those people. I am a self-taught. Like, I learn on my own very well, but at the same time, I love the community aspect of learning, especially music. So I really wanted to extend that. I wanted to extend the community, hence private community. I wanted to extend that element to people because that can help you stay accountable. It can help you stay reminded. You see what I'm saying? It can help you progress faster. Like, people neglect, they neglect community, they neglect accountability, and they blame it on not having the money when it's helping you in so many other areas. Same thing with like having a gym membership. There's a communal aspect of people who you see when you go in on a regular basis. Well, same thing with a private guitar community. Same deal. It's not just lessons. It's like I'm working to build it. It's in the beginning stages, but when I get it to a nice number, I'm doing events. It's not just, that's my vision. Anyway, it is cold, but I'm resilient enough to stick around. I'm resilient. I'm resilient enough to actually go home and, I mean, it humbled me. I think it was wrong, but hey, I went home, did the work. Now I'm kind of the one to go to for some situations. And guess what? I'm showing people. So yeah. Do you think people, if they can, would still move to areas with a strong music scene like you did? I think if they feel moved to do so, they should. If it's something that will help them, you know. But people be scared. Just I don't want to get in my 60s and 70s and say I wish I would have done this. I want to be able to look back and say, you know, oh no problem. This is AJB 8832. No problem. And let me know if you have any questions. And thank you for chiming in. But yes, as far as a hello world, do I think people, if they can, should they still? I'm a community person. Like I like my own space. True enough. Yes, I like that. But I understand that, like, I wouldn't have learned how to walk if I wouldn't have been around people who were walking or weren't walking. Who were not walking. If I didn't see it, I wouldn't be able to do it. And some stuff you learn it just because you're around it. They're not like doing a session with you. You just see people doing it, and you're kind of like, oh, I want to do that too. So I'm aiming to build a community that's like that. You have now in an online sense, okay, man, how did you do that? It's like, well, ask Kashif. Well, Kashif is not available, but I can show you. Here's what I've been working on. It's kind of hard, but here's what got me to this. And then I show up and like, yeah, that's right. You know what I'm saying? And then have periodic events like once a month to where we can, you know, have conferences. And it's just like one day where we're just like in a circle, just sitting down and sharing. Hey, this worked for me. Da 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 da. That's what I see, and that's what I'm working to build. You see what I'm saying? Like community. Like, hey, Kashif, can you come to Kansas and just share with it? Yes, let's go. Kashif, can you come to California and just share? Of course, let's do it. And it's like 20 of y'all there, and or it's like 50. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? But I need it to be incentivized. I need that. But I'm here. And until then, we can just do it online. So, yes, I would advise that, like, if you feel moved to do that and you have the means to do it, the money to do it, do it. I mean, I came here with like $250. I came here with $250, engaged to she's now my wife. And I'm like, I got to find us a place to stay. I got to find us a place to live. She didn't come with me, but I came first, but all I had was $250. I had to get a job real quick. Listen, I like taking risks. I kind of get a rush from it. Oh boy, it's hot outside. I should probably open the window. This is Sunday Soul with Tez. Can I get away with only learning and playing triads on the two string sets EBG? Oh, got it. And BGD strings in a band setting. Can you get away with it? And the EBG, I'm not sure. Okay, so the higher three strings, that's EBG. Or the BGD. Oh, got it. Okay. See what happens when you know the terminology. It's a language. All right, so let me answer your question this way. Some people Some people only stay on those higher up strings. They only stay on those strings. So say if they're like, so I don't know if you, what kind of, this is for Sunday, well, in the name is Sunday Soul with Tez. So, I mean, Sunday Soul with Tez, I'm pretty sure if you Sunday Soul, you must play you play quartet, or you play, like, what do you play? Chime in, let me know what genre you play, so I can know a little bit of how to, like, answer that a little bit. And then I'll answer the question in like 30 seconds. And I'll let you know what I think. Let me just say this. Let me turn this track off. So let's say I'm gonna just kind of do a little how fast is this metronome, first of all? Because maybe I could do a metronome situation. Where is it at? Okay, maybe I can use that. That's like, this is a metronome. What is that, 90 BPM? 89 BPM? All right. Okay. Example. Let's say I'm playing in the key of C. There's a C major. Here's a C major, right? And here's a D minor. You got your whammy set up, you know what I'm saying? You got your whammy bar set up right here. and I want to go, you know, you say, appreciate it, man, but I am an intermediate player trying to get more advanced, but learning triads all over the fretboard is challenging. I play R&B and soul. Okay. All right, cool. I'm gonna get back to what I was explaining. It's hard. It's kind of hard to just teach it. Like, this is a triad. This is a triad. This is a triad. But if you don't know what triad it is and what it belongs to, and I can sit here and tell you what chord it is and what triad it is, but it is very important to connect the dots from a foundational level. It's like, once that connects, it's like everything else kind of illuminates. It's like, whoa, whoa. That's what ends up happening. So, which is why I encourage people to learn that the cage system is like, I didn't create it. But I'll say it like this. Here are all the open major chords as far as it pertains to the caged system. Here's a C major. Here's a A major, like, because it's called caged because it spells the word caged, C-A-G-E-D. That's what it is. And all those letters are the major chords that you're playing. So I didn't tune up, so forgive me for that. Cool. There's C major. Here's A next. Here's G next. Here's E next. And here's D. Now, if you can memorize those 5 shapes in that open position, if you can just do that, it's everywhere on the internet. It's just that you got poor illustrations, you got good teachers, you got bad teachers, you got, you know what I'm saying, teachers who just showing you stuff. You have, you know, but guess what? You all are here. You all are here. And I'm giving you this nugget because you're like still on the live. So I feel like it's valuable enough to share. And I done already shared it on other videos. You just got to kind of find it. But guess what? This C major, we're in the key of C, and we're using this as like a foundational kind of thing, right? Whether you plucking it with the balls of your fingers, whether you strumming it, it's all still a C major. Don't nothing, you know, you can play it with your elbow. It's still a C major. But anyway, So guess what? That's C major. And here's this A major, right? If you can connect with the fact that this shape, this A major shape right here, is the same as, like if you repeated that same shape, and I'm talking about the shape only. If you can connect with the fact that this shape is the same as, making sure you can see my hand, this shape, these are all the same shapes that I'm playing up and down the fretboard, right? But because I'm playing them in different places, it changes the name of the chord, right? But guess what? If I play this shape, and then if I play that A major shape with that C root, I just played two different shapes. That is a C major. Both of these are the same chord. But where did I learn the shape? From learning that open A. Okay, so that means that all of these shapes, these 5 shapes, are 5 different shapes that I can apply to every single major chord. So guess what? C major, C major, C major, C major, C major, and now it's starting over. C major, and those shapes come from that cage system. If you just can memorize that 5, then it's like I can just go to it. If you just sit down and just kind of learn that part. So then what does that say? Now I can play those triads, right? Like these. You know what I'm saying? Or okay? So I can just go to these different places, and all of those were triads. But now after learning the triads, now it's about the little nuances and the little accents. So instead of just playing this, what about same, it's the same stuff. I'm playing the same triad. I'm still playing the same triad. I'm piecing it together in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Strum it. It don't, no matter how you do it, but going back to the C major, to the D minor. So I'm gonna play a C major and D minor on the B, G, and D string, and think how someone may play it in full chords. I'm gonna go to the D minor, sorry. Different style of music, but guess what? These are triads that I'm playing. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but yeah, I was just playing triads. And let me put the metronome back on. Is that too loud? There we go. I don't know if that's even playing on time or not. Like, I don't know if there's like a delay. can put whatever rhythm or spin onto it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? All of those are triads, spinning off this. But if you don't know the inversions, that's like another part too. So to Sunday Soul with Tez, that, you know, that was a long-winded way of answering your question. You know what I'm saying? Another part of knowing those shapes, you know, like what I was showing you. Here's a triad here. So all that comes from me knowing these shapes. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of like kind of placing them in the right areas and just, you know, repeating it in a way. Good stuff. I'm gonna have practice getting to shapes in time with a metronome, just starting to play in a band setting and wanted to stay out of others' way. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm here to help simplify that, you know. But one thing I will say is playing in the band setting will definitely whip you into shape, for sure. Because it'll kind of force you to play in time. It'll force you to cooperate musically, you know. And there are times when they're going to sort of demand something out of you and you're not there yet, and you're like, dang, I got to go home and really get it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, triads, you're there, you know what I'm saying? Like, stay with the triads. Still know, like, if you're going to play like a C major triad like this, still know what the whole chord is. But also know that triad belongs to a C major and a A minor seventh. That triad is in there. So you could be doing a chord progression that's like, and going to D minor, back to C major. But if you were to play the triads, you could be playing. So you don't have to play the. You can play. Whatever I was trying to do. I'm just saying you could do that instead of playing the full chords. Or you can play the full chords and just kind of. Whatever. So just stay away from using the bass note. That, you know, if the bass player is playing, if you can stay away from using that note in the chord, stay away from playing that and play more like. That's like a better idea. Now, that's a way to actually stay out of the way of the bass player. That's really the only one you want to stay out of their way. As far as keys, you know, figure out what they're playing and, you know, use the triads. Is any of this helping? So I appreciate you from Sunday Soul with Tez. I appreciate that. Your question. The thing about community, like, even when we say community, I'm even talking about down to this chat. Down to this chat. This is like a communal thing that's happening. You know what I'm saying? So your questions like helps other people. Like helps other people who maybe they want to ask the question, but they're not in a place to ask it. Maybe they're at work or something like that, and they're just not in a position to actually type a question on the in the chat thread. So for those of you who have asked the question, thank you for asking. Yeah. So yeah, man, I'm here. I mean we can carry it on. I'm gonna go cut my yard. But if y'all got other questions, go on and chime in. But yeah, we've been at it for like almost 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? But and I think that I have all the questions. I think that I have asked all the questions. I don't think that I missed one. So let me put the music back on so it'll be a little. There we go. I don't even know if y'all heard it come in. I probably heard it, but y'all didn't hear it. So sometimes I say to people when music that I like comes on, and I'm like in this element because the music I like is like, oh, you know, it's almost like you're at a party. I'm not like the clubber type, but in the club you usually see people with their cup and they drink, and it's usually a red Solo cup, usually, like at large, a red Solo cup. If it's not that, it's the opaque Solo cup. You know what I'm saying? It's either that or the red one. And they usually put the cup in the air like, oh, okay, here we go. I got some water. Yeah. Ooh. For whatever reason, I don't know what that is. I don't know why that is. So, well, all right, y'all. Guess we done. Guess we're done. If we don't have any other questions, we can sign off. That's all I wanted to rap about. So y'all don't be alarmed. Not that it matters like that, but I may do this same live on the same thing, talking about the same exact stuff later this evening. I'm not gonna promise, but it depends on what other things I can get accomplished. So any of you who are just chiming in, if you have questions, chime on in. I'm still free. And to bring you all up to speed is basically eliminating regrets about learning guitar, learning an instrument. I talked about that a lot earlier. And I also asked questions. I did like a Q&A session for those of you who had questions. So if you got it, I'll just wait for a little bit of time. And then other than that, I'll sign off. So what I'll do is I will run the video again, and that'll be actually the transition off. Okay. So let me cut this off. Let's do it.